Do come in, please. Please come in. Be seated. And I hope you're having a fine evening. Good, good. Well, I appreciate you coming in to answer some questions for me. No, I'm not an agent of the law or some mounted ranger. I represent an organization that has interest in such things, a scholarly bent towards the uncanny, if you will. So please, these questions are those of a private citizen, the one quite curious about the specific nature of the experience you had. Good. Well, thank you again for being willing to speak with me. Would it be all right if I took some notes during our conversation? Would it be all right if I took some notes during our conversation? Lovely, thank you. Just helps me ensure that my recollections are not polluted by any diversions of the brain, and I've captured your words just as you meant to say them. All right. Well, I'd like to begin with a simple starting question just to help stimulate the memories. So, what did you see, and why should I believe you? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I mean, right off the bat, the things you're saying establish this immediately as complete and utter fabrication. Yeah. Okay, well, perhaps I have been a bit rash in my judgment. Perhaps I've mistaken something you've said in the summarization. Perhaps some of the details have been lost. So let us dive into those and just really establish the specifics of what happened, okay? All right, yeah, I think this will be a better approach. Okay, so to start things off, what day was this? Okay. That's the 16th. Just be sure which Tuesday. I wouldn't want to confuse the matter. And where were you? Okay. And you typically go there? How often? And how long had you been there before? Okay. And were you with anyone? Okay. Could you spell that? would you allow me to just briefly examine you with a glass of magnification? Just want to do a little bit of a scan, just to help me establish the normalcy of your personage and health. Okay. Allow me to grab my magnifying glass for the inspection. A very valuable tool. Helps reveal things that might otherwise be overlooked by the unaided eye. So I'm just going to look at your face. Yes, just have a bit of a look here. Just want to get a sense of your pupillary response, your complexionation. Yes. Would you turn your head just slightly for me? There we go. And slightly to the other direction. Yes. No, I think that's normal. Okay. Could you just raise your chin for me slightly? Slightly. Okay. Yes, okay. And then again, straight ahead. Will you just look straight ahead for me? Yes, don't focus on me. Just look as if you were looking past me. Just have a look here. Get a feel for the capillary distribution. Yes. Any buildups of corneic acid. Okay. Very good, very good. Thank you. Thank you for allowing that examination. It is very helpful to just establish the full circumstance of your nature and experience. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now, allow us to return to the interrogation. Okay. So, this experience, you said it began with sound? At first you heard a sound. And how would you describe the sound? Like a tapping? Slow? Or fast? Slow or fast? Rhythmic or less rhythmic? A scratching? The nature of the sound. I see, okay. And how long did that last? You reviewed your pocket watch, or you are guessing? just do your best to supply the answers as you recall. Your answers are neither right nor wrong. I simply look for an accurate recounting of events. This will aid most thoroughly in our scholarship. Okay. And so what were you seeing then? Let's see. Yes. Oh, quite. Yes, I see. And changing over time or fairly constant? And how many? Okay. And about how long do you think that that lasted? And again, any specific time reference points, or this is by your memory? Okay. Okay. I see. And anything else about that? Huh. Okay. Good, good. Very, very helpful. Now I just want to ask something here. Perhaps we can help lay down some specifics for my record. Now I have here this map. Allow me to bring it forth. And if you could just indicate for me on the map, just with a finger, just indicate where the incident occurred, okay? Just wherever. I know that you've told me, but just to anchor things for the record, just go ahead and point for me there. Okay? And you're sure? Okay. Very good, very good. Let me just make a quick note as to the location of your mark. There are often geographic correspondences. Sometimes these occur on ley lines, geodesic underpinnings for our reality, so important to know. Okay, so I just want to verify one more time. I'm going to have you show me again on the map. Just show me again where it was that the incident occurred. Go ahead, just point that out for me. And you're positive. Okay, you go there often enough that you're quite familiar. Okay, so there. I see, okay. And I shall now make a note in my book here, corroborating that that was the location you selected. I have to say, my friend, that your lie is rather thin. Those were two entirely different maps. One of France, the other of Scotland. Destinations remote from here beyond the sea. In no way could you have been there, and you've attested twice as to it being the correct location, yet you pointed at two different spots. onto different countries. You were saying you were transported to both of those locations. And this is instantaneously. So moving through space without the passage of time. Or at least your conscious perception of that. Okay. I see. Okay. Well, I do think I have a pretty good sense of what is happening here. So if on this chart you could just point at the number of alcoholic drinks you had consumed. So yes, just point at the number, 0 here being 10. And if you need to add a digit for 14, 15, 16, just let me know. But just go ahead and point out how many you had consumed. Really? Well, obviously I'm going to have to question your account on that, because it's clear you were quite steeped in alcohol at the time of this so-called experience. You can provide some other account for its ludicrous and impossible nature. I'll set this aside. Well, if not alcohol, then perhaps you had taken cocaine. You never partake. Well, if I were to go down and see the pharmacist, would he be able to present to me a prescription written to you for cocaine? Or perhaps laudanum? And what if I went to the druggist? Might I find such answer there? Perhaps you had an acquaintance, who was a user of cocaine and they provided you with the drug on this evening. You did say you were with someone. Perhaps you had consumed a large amount of Coca-Cola and your cerebral matter was addled with an overdose of energetic chemicals. And you would swear to this. And on what would you swear it? Interesting. Okay. Well, let us then resume my question. Are you employed, sir? And for how long? And what is the name of your employer? And can he be contacted to verify this fact? Okay. Did you hear that? Well, it's stopped now. You didn't hear that. You should get your ears checked. Let's see, where were we? Yeah, so going back to something you said, You said you saw a color. Mm-hmm. And what color was it? Okay. Like... Okay. And you could feel it. You could feel the color. So it was a fog or a mist, a cloud of gas of some kind. No. So it was just a color, yet it was palpable. Okay. Ah. Ah. I have the answer. This is a mushroom, an ordinary mushroom as we often eat. However, it looks incredibly similar to another mushroom that has components with psychotropic properties such that when consumed can evoke powerful and very lifelike seeming hallucinations. Yes, see, we got all bent out of shape here, but this is what it was. You just ate one of those mushrooms, and that became the source of these visions. You didn't eat any mushrooms. Uh-huh. Yes. When a theory fits the facts so well, I believe we have to recognize the theory as the reality. So this friend, they can attest that you ate no mushrooms. Well, it's challenging. You see, if they were to say that they had seen you eat a mushroom, then they would only need one instance of that to prove that this was so, but what you are proving here is a negative, that something didn't happen. Thus, they would have needed to see you the entire time. I think it would be difficult for them to swear that. I mean, even a simple trip to relieve discomfiture in your bladder would be enough time to pop in a bit of this mushroom and go on your fantastic and no doubt real seeming voyage. Okay. Okay, and so if I speak with this friend, they will confirm what you say, which is that they were with you the entire time, and that you did not consume a mushroom within that duration. Okay. You haven't seen them for how many days? Since the incident. Well, this is most concerning. So you have not seen them since then? Were you angry at them? Did they do something to you? Had they done something? So they're to confirm your testimony, but you were the last one to see them. And they've been missing for days. Well, this all creates problems for your story and potentially for an alibi. I will follow up on this for certain, and I'm sure that the local law will as well. Very curious, very concerning. Yes. Have you ever listened to a mushroom? You can hear quite extraordinary things. They're far more advanced than we are. Someday we will all be their servants. I'd like to get back to the noises that you mentioned. So then you said there was a specific tone that you heard, like a musical tone. Okay. And with that, was it more of a high-pitched tone, like or would you say it was lower in pitch, like okay. You're hearing voices? No, of course I couldn't be making the voices. I was humming. Let me tell you something. All ventriloquists are liars. So anything else about the sound? Okay. You said, so some language, maybe names? Let's just... yes. I'm just gonna throw some names out here. I don't expect you to have heard any of these specifically. I just to double check. You never know, right? You never know. Cthulhu? Catharga? No? Okay. Nyarlathotep? Okay. Kavitzel? No. What about Azathoth? Okay. Ben. Was the name Ben mentioned? No? Okay. Bubba Hotep? Okay. And Sathogua? Okay, none of those sounded familiar. Okay. I can't say that one out loud. Yugoloth. Okay. Well, good, I think. I think good. And you don't remember specifically. What was that? Okay. It's nothing. It's nothing. So you don't remember. Okay. Okay. Is your faith strong? Mm. And do you attend rituals regularly? You know what? What you're saying, I think I have a different theory. Could I, if you don't mind, could I see your hands briefly? I just want to have a look here. Thank you. Just take a look there, and the other hand. And if we could flip this over. Yes, the line there. Yes, you had your fortune read. Is that something you do regularly? Okay. Sorry, could I see the other hand again? Yeah, just this side. Look there. Then yes, yeah, with your hearing, I think if you could just turn your head and look in the ear, potentially a pressure inside there would account, I think, for certain things you might be hearing or not hearing. And the other way, please. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. So I think, let me just consult this at home knowledge here. Yes, an imbalance starts to, no, no. Yes, I think it's here. Yes, I think it's rather in this volume here. I just want to confirm my facts before I make any undue speculation. So we just review here. Such a great variety of topics within the universe. I know it's in here. Give me just a moment. Ah, yes, here we have it. Our four humors: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic here. Yes, mucus, water, bile, and earth. Choleric, plasma, fire, and then sanguine, of course, of the blood and air. Yes, but I do think what we're looking at here is a choleric imbalance. Yes, so that would account for some of the challenges, and I think some of the, well, I don't want to call them hallucinations. I'm sure they were quite real in their way, but this issue is likely what is occurring here. So, I recommend that you go see a doctor at at your earliest convenience, can help resolve this issue, whether through bloodletting or quicksilver or some other known cure. Yes, I wouldn't want to speak as to the specifics. Oh heavens, no. Not some intoxicated, churlish bone saw. No, a true doctor of the arts. Yes. While I myself am no medical professional, I merely conjecture based on the observations I have made. Well, you can insist on a clean bill of health, but again I encourage you to get checked out. But you did spark another line of thinking, which may be the root of what we're dealing with here. So let me just grab one other implement. So I have this here, my astrolabe. Can just make some quick analyses here. Yes, looking for certain alignments. We can be so fragile, the way we're ruled over by the celestial bodies. Things far beyond our control here. Yes, but if it was the 17th, this last on the Tuesday, and then tracking here, there, yes. Well, certain alignments and the one I theorize based on the timing can bring about delusions, mass hysteria, unbridled incontinence, all sorts of maladies. Yes, okay, so it looks like perhaps if I just, it needs to be exact. Well, the one I was presuming was just past. Now it doesn't rule out a more complex alignment, but I would have to spend a little more time digging in there with some of my astronomical charts, which I intend to do so after, don't worry. Anything I can do to help get to the bottom of this, okay? Yes. You know, these dangers of which you've spoken, sometimes it's not a global threat, but a very personal one. Is there something that you've done, maybe something very bad, that you haven't told anyone? You're sure you didn't do something? Okay. You know, the moth is drawn to the flame. A powerful compulsion can often end in an incandescent elimination from the illumination. Sometimes more than this darkness, being drawn to you, you are drawn to it. Are you drawn to such things? certain you haven't felt such a compulsion in the past? Something calling out to you, beckoning, luring you in. Perhaps not a flame, perhaps that cold, dark sphere of complete inertness from which all negation radiates outward, drawing us in, pulling us down. No? Have you explored this idea before? Okay. So tell me more about this expanse you described, this desolate landscape. You said it was barren, with pyritic rock and glass, and a daytime sun as dark as night. Okay. And like how much or how far? I recognize it was infinite, but try to put words to it. Curious. I think, where was it? I think I have it in some other notes here. Just believe I did take note here. Yes, there's the witch cult in Western Europe. Yes, there was a professor who did some very, very interesting work on these subjects. Yes, there was the 1925 entry, the Dream and Dream Work. Yes, there's something very familiar about what you said. I believe that a similar vision was documented. Okay. So any other specific details? Okay. And ever expanding. Yes. Brings to mind mnemonic increases. The ancients were quite concerned with gnomons. Growth by the addition of equal entities. Yes, here, let me, fascinating geometries and numerologies are unable to escape their rule. Yes, I know it's in here. I know it's here. as it does not want to be found. An index, the coward's way. Yes, here we are. Nomans. So growth by the addition of the same pattern gives rise to all sorts of interesting results, eccentricities, and puzzling questions. Yes, and what you describe as sort of growth of nothing. It's questions like, if near infinities are added to near infinities, do we get larger near infinities, or do they cross over into infinities? Yes. Questions like that have troubled me. Really, I've been quite troubled since I went into that basement at the Wainwright's house. And there was that noise, that fluttering everywhere and nowhere. Maddening in a way, yet necessary. Yes. Ever since then, quite troubled. Sleep is different. Do you ever lie awake, pondering what should not be pondered? As if someone else guides the thoughts and we have no agency. Anyway, no big concern. So, you have spun quite a tale here, and though I have cast my doubts, there's little to assail in terms of the veracity. So it is providing quite a bit of food for thought. There is one other test I may be able to do to help reconcile the difference in reality to your tale and the nature of its honest regaling or not. I have here this charm, a pendulum, which can swing back and forth, and as it swings back and forth, it is guided by forces beyond our understanding or comprehension, just swinging back and forth. And with this chart here, the alignment of the swing which it settles upon will let us know whether true or false your tale is. The pendulum swinging back and forth, so easy to follow it with your eyes, but it follows its own course, intending to reveal truth to us as it swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So easy to follow with your eyes as it swings back and forth. And it chooses its course, indicating to us, through means we do not yet know, which is true and which is false. And we see here on my chart the nature of your tail as it goes back and forth, back and forth, the natural periodicity defined by constants set in place by the beginnings of time, back and forth, back and forth, its own celestial truth, identifying what is true or false, what is false or true, as it swings back and forth, back and forth. Oh yes, well, we have an answer at least. A most interesting result. However, I noticed that you were looking at the pendulum, and as such you may have become hypnotized. And if you were hypnotized, you may have been saying words which you did not intend to say. Which, unfortunately, by the nature of what just occurred, I must now question the whole account. For if it was simply given under hypnosis, it is unclear whether it would take it as true or not true. Were you hypnotized? Were you not hypnotized? How would you know, having been hypnotized, if you did not remember you were hypnotized? Perplexing questions. Do you have anything else you would like to add? I must say you've been quite thorough in the information you have provided me. Okay. No further questions, Your Unholy Eminence. Your Honor. Good soul, sorry, it's an unfortunate habit. I was very nearly a lawyer. Yes, I had trained and was so close to completing my schooling when betrayal, utter heartless betrayal, but I've held on to some of the habits, you know. But now I am a scholar, dedicated to my art, and I must say, the testimony you've presented is quite fascinating. There is a chance I will have follow-up questions. Will you be around town? Wonderful. Though, of course, some questions are better left unanswered. All right. Well, again, thank you. You take care and have a good night. And don't let the bed bugs bite.